Hello there, ladies and gents, and welcome back to Arelith. In the previous video we looked at character creation, and this time we're going to be talking about a number of features specifically within the Arelith server that they've sort of added specific changes to the engine, I guess. So what you've got here, I'm sort of in a limbo between two worlds. This isn't the actual world. Normally you get here by accident, like I did. So I can choose either Underdark or Surface, but because I don't play in the Underdark, I will go to the Surface. And we'll see where this takes us. Let's see. What might be a good spot to teleport to? These are sort of portals that I've found in the world that you can teleport to from one place. So I'm just going to go to the Arcane Tower. Right, so here we are, in the actual world. I'm playing my half-orc fighter rogue barbarian, apparently. I've got many classes selected. Here we have a well. Wells can be used to drink from, and drinking restores our water level. So, we are not as thirsty. Yay! It seems to be winter around these parts. Because I did a video actually about all the features, but then I got caught up in roleplay and it was so long-winded that I'm going to try and be very clear and short and precise and to the point. So let's get started. Let's start with the experience that you gain as a role player, I guess. Roleplay experience bonus. These come every 6 minutes, so you get 10 experience because my rating as a role player is 10. The dungeon masters who govern the server with an iron fist happen to think I'm worthy of a 10, so I'll be a 10 then. It's the default you get for entering the server. What else you see here is apparently it warns of the weather as well. It's snowing right now. Remember to wrap up extra provisions and so on and so forth. So that means that you lose more water and more food levels because it's so cold, and rest as well goes down and you get exhausted. And when you get too exhausted you start getting stat penalties, so you have to keep up on these things. If you're not if you haven't eaten in a while, if you haven't drunk water enough, then you get fatigued. So you have to keep an eye on such things. What else? I suppose we can move on to the Arelith Virtual Console. This is what you access by typing a dash, and then you add a word, a command word that you want to use. So let me just explain real quick. Dispel is used to dispel buffs that you have on you when you want to get rid of them for whatever reason. Blind makes you blind. I can show you. There, we're blind. This gives you, I guess, an added benefit as a role player of a blind person, that you are in fact blind. You're role playing a blind person, so you're blind. This helps you get in character. This is how much you see of the world as a blind person. It also does help against some spells, I suppose, that require you to see. So, there you are. You can also be deaf, if you like. But it's less visual, so I won't show it to you. How do you get rid of it? There we go. Dispel gets rid of all these things. So, delete character, deletes character. Description you can use to change your description. This is my description. Slurts. A swarthy half-orc with blunt features and deep eye sockets that cast shadows over his eyes. Slurts is fairly thick-set and, being slightly duck-footed, he walks with ungainly steps. There's a mischievous glint in his eye and a malign smile on his lips. Well, I'll be. It's been a while since I've played this character. So that is my description. So if you type description and then whatever the description will be, it will change to that. Disguise. Now this is interesting. Disguise is used to disguise your character. What this means is there's a mechanic that allows you to look at people. For instance, let me just walk up to this guard here. This is an NPC, he's not too bothered. Go on, make it a bit faster. There we go. We use the emotes are always in stars, so we'll use that. Looks. There we go. We're looking at things. We get the accuracy of our assessment of this character based on our spot skill, which is -1, so not too good. We can tell that he's very healthy. Constitution, physique, strength, agility, dexterity, and so on and so forth. All sorts of skills and stuff. Persuasiveness, and so on. So, if I was disguise, then it would say either recognized or unrecognized. Like, NPCs try to spot you, it doesn't really matter if they do though. But it's mostly a mechanic for players to roleplay a shady type if they want to be sneaky and stealthy. So I'll just type disguise and then I add whatever the disguise would be. In this case I'll just type half orc and it'll change my name. You take a few moments to disguise. So now that we're disguised, it shows half orc and disguised. So others see this, but if they used the looks on me, they would have to roll their spot check against my bluff check, which is 3 at the moment. And they would most likely succeed and be able to tell that it's me, or they would get a message saying that you didn't recognize this person, and thus you, as a player, or your character doesn't know who that person is. So, even if you as a player would know who it is, your character would not. This is called role-playing. I'm sure you're all aware of role-playing. What else is there? Let's see. Let's have a look at this. Dispel, we know. Factions. Factions opens up this here screen. I'm not a member of any faction. Players can create their own factions. I apparently have to name it first, so I'm going to call it... There we go. Now we have a faction with its fancy name, and you can create ranks, salaries, all sorts of things. I've never been a member of a faction, at least I don't recall being in one. So you can add members, and then you give them a rank, and then you can set ranks for different members, I guess. I don't know how that works. Honestly, there's so many things that this... I just don't know the specifics. But anyway, you get access to factions and it's all cool. Kind of like guilds. Familiar... I don't know what familiar does. I think if you type familiar and then you type something else, it makes the familiar talk. Maybe. Who knows? It's not that important. Investigate. Investigate can be used to... investigate bloodstains that are left by dead players. So if I was murdered here, or if I murdered someone, more likely. Who would murder me? I would murder someone, maybe. Then it would leave a bloodstain, and anyone who comes across that bloodstain is allowed to investigate it, and then when they have investigated it, they get, based on their search and spot skills, they get sort of information about the killing, like what sort of weapon was used, who was killed, and all sorts of things. So you can be a detective and figure things out. Or if the killer is smart, he can use an item which is... I don't know if I have one in my inventory. But it's a simple item called Bucket of Water. And you can use that to clean up the bloodstains, and that's it. But if there was an NPC nearby who's witnessed the whole thing, you can use Investigate. Hang on. I think Investigate can be used to... I've never done this before, I'm curious. Who have you seen lately? And, well, he doesn't seem to have... He hasn't seen anybody. Let's go talk to the guy outside. He sees quite a number of things. I'm curious as to how this works, because I haven't used this before myself. So... You're outside a lot. Ah, there we go. He didn't recognize me in my uncanny disguise. So I get a bit of piety. And that is because I worship a god who likes people to be sneaky. I worship Mask, I think. So, the evil god of thieves. And basically that gives me the chance, if my piety is high enough, it gives me the chance of my god succeeding a failed disguise roll, as it were, if that makes sense. So if someone would normally spot me and recognize me, then my guard would intervene and... Hang on. There's someone over there. Oh well. People passing by. Let's see if our guard has been observant and actually spotted these people. Apparently he hasn't, which is interesting. Oh well. Looks like he's blind. Maybe I was in the way or something. Who knows? Ah, there we go. He lists out the people he has seen. Let me see. I've seen a male human. I'd say they were attractive. A male... You would. A male human, I'd say they were attractive. A female human, obviously beefy. Okay. A male half-orc, obviously beefy. Yes, that's me. A female human, I'd say they were wiry. Okay. So, he actually does describe them quite well. And then when you go and look at people with your looks skill, you get all sorts of information, like you can put two and two together and, aha, it was you that done it! And then they go to jail and all sorts of things happen. So, that was quite interesting. I've never done that before. So, hope that explains... Hang on. Let's just look at now. Investigate language. Languages. That's important. Let's not go anywhere yet. Let's look at languages. We have languages that are available to us, are the yellow ones. All the languages in the game. Sorry, the server. The game doesn't supply these by itself. These are Arelith specific. Again, very important to make note of this, because these are really, really cool and impressive, and I like them a lot. So, common. You type -- and type enter, and you speak common, which is English. So if you type dash and the first two letters of your chosen language, which is Orc. So we'll be talking Orcish now. Now if I said, let's go and keep your eyes open for any unruly bastards. So there we go. Anyone who doesn't understand, like everyone would see this. This is Orcish. My half-orc side speaking, and that without this language as, if you don't, good God, sentences, anyway, if you don't speak the language, then you don't get this message here, which tells you, which translates what has just been said. So, I get this, just for reference, for myself, and I'm the one who said it anyway. Brr. Yes, it's cold. Brr. Here you can see some players passing by. They're clearly going to the Arcane Tower of the Magi. Very interesting. Thank Sharez, we're close. Sharez, eh? So, Thieves' Cant is my other language that I can speak, which would be, let's say, I would say, well, what would I say? Good Lord. Just say, whatever. Hello, for instance. Let's say hello. We're going to be original. If I say hello in Thieves' Cant, it's going to be a nod or another emote. Although lately it's only been nod, which is quite annoying. But before it used to be, let's see, hello, say bye. Okay, it's just nod. But there used to be like other emotes such as rubs nose, winks eye, and such, that sort of thing. So it was pretty cool. But I don't know, they might have changed it to nods, because nods is what people usually emote. Most people don't emote anything else. So, like winks and eye or whatever. So that's usually a tell that something's transpiring. I don't know why they would take it off though. So, language is done. The rest of this is pretty much unimportant, other than, what are you doing? Here we have her description. This brawny woman could, at a glance, be considered a layabout sort. Whatever, we don't want to read it. You can read it if you like. I don't want to. Anyway, moving on. Scry, send image, teleport, yoink, and ward are all spells. Epic spells. You can get them as a wizard, or a sorcerer, or any other mage, if you have the required feats. Teleport teleports you to a portal location. Send image sends your image to someone, saying what you want to say to them. So it's like a free message to someone. It's like Obi-Wan Kenobi, the sort of hologram thing. Then there's Scry, which allows you to basically spy on people. You type Scry and the player's name, sorry, the character's name that you want to spy, and then you'll be there, sort of hidden. Like, for instance, I could have someone scrying me right now, and I wouldn't be able to tell, because they'd be standing somewhere around here, seeing what I do, watching me for a time, and then they would disappear. Go back to where they came from. Yoink is sort of like teleporting someone to you, so you can yoink others to you. It's exactly how it sounds. And Ward is an epic spell that I think it traps everyone around you and makes them visible. So if you suspect that someone's following you, trying to scry you, for instance, with a magical spell, you can type Ward, and then they appear, and then they're stuck there, and you can do whatever you like. I think that's how it works. I've never had an epic mage, so I wouldn't know too precisely what the things do. Track. Track is used by rangers to track which monsters are in the area. You can also... hang on. Oh, goddamn. Oh, hang on, there it is. You can also track tracks, such as these here. I'm not sure if they show up too well, but these on the ground here, see? These are tracks, as it says. You can click on them, and they tell you who the person was, much like he just did. The orc did over there. You get information as to who's passed through here and which way they went, if they were coming or going, and so on. Interesting stuff. Now, I think I've been talking way too long again, so we'll see how this goes. Anyway, I'll be saying goodbye for now. I hope you have enjoyed this video of Arelith. Goodbye. Goodbye.